Hi, welcome to poetry reading by me, Harry Watnik. I'm not going to make anything cosmic out of this, nor am I going to denigrate it. It's just pure poppycock. It is what it is. It's poems probably from the 90s into the 2000s, early 2000s. And I don't know what it is that I'll be reading, but as they come up, I'll announce the title, and you guys, who are kind enough to be into this for whatever time period, thank you. My eyes are shot, so I'm going to have trouble reading my own writ. But this one's called Father Knew Best. I am a soul who is seeking the truth. In the middle of my poverty, searching through the thrush and the thistle. In a wind, suffering, tired of it all. I am a soul made of dough, of paranoia, guilt, and sloth. I am an angry man whose son is dead, much too young. And the morning sun, spitting its flames to cast the afternoon of incineration at a troubled soul, waves around the horny branches as buds of ether smell of lies, and near the misfortune of wrong I fall as a thing unbearable, too weak to put right his stone, and too human to murder his killer. Okay. Let's try witnessing planet. At the insistence of unity, enervated near the swamp in the dregs of nature, a cobra sensed and hatched and formulated its wily sludge, and invented the coughing bogs, the laden silt as children poaching for their mother, like thunderous strifed particulars, grounded by bestial teeth of necessity. They began to eat and fit the basic facts called for in Genesis. For it interred them in sandstone, before the limestone selectors and the great eternal malcontents, with his 1,000 bags of basalt, and the black goo reality powdered our mistakes and called it civilization. This paradox of faith and philosophy, at once grim and sublime, reconnoitered in the mosquito-laden waters where all bad things happen, and all good things in the sameness of contrivance, the diffraction noted and reported to the Journal of Forever. The grinding grasses welcomed the slaughtered, and the maiming ethics piled on a paddled captain who shouted, "Glory to all the witnesses!" as they chewed the last fat from his leg. This one seems to be multiple pages. 3 pages. See if there's 4. That's 3. Alright, we'll read this one and then we'll take a break and go on to the next one. This is a poem I wrote called Thou and I, and went through many manifestations, I'm sure. And this particular version reads like this. I met a lunatic who gurgled and spat and reached into his pocket to come face to face with his own loneliness. The victor was always Jonah swinging on Broadway. When I danced by and looked in the mirror and proclaimed that the lunatic was me. Faced with this thimble of euphoria, my soul is stolen from life, and faith first with forgetfulness comes grim in the insomnia of existence. My heart rests, my soul cleanses, and no love is served up, as a wet dog is yelping on a bed of nothing. Joy and health denied, I stand tonight like a ghost dead on the floor of my own woes. Life in the working classes, in the forgotten heat of youth, senses the departed walking the floor above and looking for Plato or Aristotle, as the gates to them were locked. And we of the substantial awareness and powers, those who have the storage to house the princesses and princes like live Govindas walking the mall of illusion, full of content, full of fragrance, full of the drunken dim kisses of the dreary past. I remember her lips, the red love on the floor, covered by a gray carpet, like disciples of the Kama Sutra. Our oily humanity was never too old to care, never too sick to think about the future. We had none. It was all about me, about my band, about my boredom, and the happiness that always seemed to be an inch away. I am that I am, and is always, endless, forever me. Sprinkled me, parting from me, feasting of me, fabulous me. And so I waved at the passing bus who refused to stop on the corner of Sunset and Crescent Heights. I sat on the bus bench sullen, cursing the rapid transit, pondering Sir Thomas Aquinas. I zipped my trousers, piddling my pawn ticket, and the only other person waiting for the bus was the hoot owl. And I watched myself racing for the seat, glad to sit down, while the barking passengers, like soggy hounds, holding briefcases, donning old socks, looking at pictures of their children in old lanes, got off one by one on the long ride down Sunset Boulevard to the Great Dog. In the back of my mind, I heard the Parliament singing, "I want to testify. I just want to testify." And so I sat alone. I examined what I had in my little briefcase through my one half of a good eye. Did I look at it quite correctly? Oh, this is my stop. Let me get off. And I got off and hung out with my fellow shitty fools, chewing the shitty food, chewed by and with shitty teeth, for my life in this shitty town. And I sat alone. This world was made by a motherfucker, for motherfuckers. And I bit down on this shitty hot dog, served by some shitty dude off the boat. Was there room for 7 billion motherfuckers on this planet? Our masters are shitty. And the master took out his shittiness on the shitheads who shit on him. So I looked at the fucking clock. I'm hot. And I'm hot since I'm wearing a sweater. I'm tired like a nymphomaniac in a Korean bar. Tired as a gravedigger in Iran. Fuck it. What does it matter? The day is for the dying. But life is just the next day. And the next day. Because it might be a different day. I can feel it. I can feel the world is changing. Even in this shithole. Yesterdays have been eradicated from my gut. I feel it ripping out of there. And my stomach is clean, but I don't give a shit. Fuck my stomach lining. And fuck the shit that's in my trash bag. And the sickness in life. And fuck the 4 square meals a day. And fuck the little pig. But tomorrow might be a different day. Even though it will be cast under the star of sadness. And my teeth, all 15 of them, and my body, given as a gift to the world, will be drugged out like a psycho at the clinic in Manhattan. I was smothering in this veneer. My fate was nothing but chopped liver. I was a man that sank like guilt with cement shoes into the East River, into the vastness of the Mojave. And fortune I held with both hands so tight slipped away like oxygen in the emergency room. The bounty was today. So I moved in the smog, and I waved at the tides, and I twisted in the turbulence, a seeker for life's cargo. Amid the briny movements, reached my drowned, rambunctious cartage of calamity. Spirits that sink in this thing called destination. I know I am part of the sun. I know I am part of substance. I know I'm part of subsistence. I am one component of the day's formulation. One constituent scattered in thought. Ordering near my table, I shared it with my dog, and we lived trusting each other, that I would throw down the little dog yummies, and the dog would wag its tail to make me happy, and tell me where God was on earth. And he stands guarding the gate of hell, offering a different route, and hoping that the schedules of the departed would not cry on him forever. Here, dogma is double-spaced, and salvation stands linked to the cosmic ruination of fat gods. The kingly, drooling nothingness within the Hollywood dream. I step over my dog in my own distemper into the primordial pigsty to revel in my blissful songs of exodus, witness to the sad folks who also have lost a child. Plato jokes are told twice to Socrates as he speculates on the movement of his soul. And turning a deaf ear to his students, he looks at me, old Holy Harry, to hear me complaining. He says, "This is a day of radiance. The birds are chirping. The asphalt is melodious. The consumed children are on the edge of a happy journey. And ribbons spilled along the old highway north. My fingers are fresh like edges of paint. Upon the wall scrawled the imprint of graffiti. No more fuck yous, just existence between the infamy and the depth charges. Existence as a postulate of the mind, spoken to a weary skeleton who wants what and where, while his fumbling fingers look for his pistol in the pouring rain. At once I am a simpleton, squandered in an orange hailstorm, misunderstanding the call girl as she quotes her price. And in politeness, I accept whatever she said it might have been. I know she's a varmint in sequins. And I ask who will sit outside the door while we rumble. And she is at one with herself and calls me sludge. And we talk the dialogue and pop into our hopeless causeway. 'Tis loose, diced, and boiled, and I am stacked upon her like snowdrifts in Tibet. When the blue monster recalls the formulas and the book, and I am crowned emperor, and we towel off. Okay, thank you. Maybe I'll read a couple more on the next row round.